Welcome to Flashback Monday. And we're doing September 2018. And this is the D. Louise book series. And I'm Christina, KRSTINA. This is where we read books, talk about books, and no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. So I've got a couple little things I'm going to experiment with next week or so, or next month or so. But anyways, we are doing September 2018. And September was a good month for my authors. There's quite a few of my authors in this stack today. And I thought I'd show. Somebody gave this to me for my birthday months and months ago. But I can't help showing it. I will never use it. It's a display piece. It's permanently a display piece. But these also come in t-shirts. I've seen them online. I have nothing to do with them. This was just a gift. But it was just a gift. And I will never use it. It's a display piece. So anyways, I do not know where my co-host went. She was here a minute ago, and she has split. So anyways, alright, so, and somebody wrote all over the back. Don't know why. But anyway, and September, I think September's a little early for a Christmas book. Usually, like, a lot of them will hit the fan in October. You know, for people that want to purchase them for gifts in November, for December. But anyways, and I certainly absolutely 100% miss my Romantic Times Book Review magazine. I miss that sucker, something terrible. And I wrote to, I forget which one it was. I think it was Marks, Bookmarks, I think. I'll have to double check. It's the plasticky one. But, I said, they do a page book review, and they have reviews from every other newspaper in town. I said, why are you doing reviews from every other newspaper in town? You could cut that in half and do 2 books a page. And she said, no, that's their thing. They do review, they show you different opinions about the book from all over the place. Book Page does a little bit more. But nobody does as much as Romantic Times did. Nobody. Something fell. Alright, so anyways. Emily March, The Christmas Wishing Tree. A man who loves adventure and the open sea, Devin Murphy returns for a short Christmas trip to the small hometown of Eternity Springs. Immersed in the joy and magic of the holiday season all around him, he doesn't hesitate to play along when a young boy phones Santa to ask for a very special wish. Devlin never guesses that a wrong number has the potential to make everything in his life so right. So what do you think? My cat, she's over there. Jenna Stockton adopted Riley when he needed a number, and she tends to keep him safe. Needed a mother, excuse me. When he needed a mother, and she intends to keep him safe. A small town across the country called Eternity Springs seems like a good place to hide from their past without any complications, until sexy Santa himself discovers her secret. When Devin proposes a daring plan to face down the danger together and defeat it once and for all, she is tempted. Maybe Devlin is really capable of making wishes come true. Perhaps in Christmas Wish they'll both find the miracle they've been looking for. So maybe we'll see this as one of our Christmas books. This sounds good. So what do you think? And I am slowly collecting these ladies. We are going to do this series. If I ever... I got a couple months ago, I bought a whole bunch of books, spanking new, not from the thrift store, and I got through 8 of the 12 books and just couldn't take it anymore. But anyways, we will be doing this one. I'm looking forward to this. This one, And there's another one, with the skeleton stuff. So anyway, Lee Barrett has landed her dream job as Salem's WICH TV. As the new field reporter, she'll be covering events live as they're unfolding. Next on the holiday checklist is an interview with the beloved chairman of a popular walking tour through Salem's historic districts, but it may be his ghost walking this snowy Noel season after Lee finds him murdered in the stately offices, bloody Santa hat askew. Oh, look, there's somebody here. Let's see here. Come here. Come here. Oh, where was I? With her police detective boyfriend working the case and a witch's brew of suspects, including some bell-ringing Santas, Lee chases down leads, aided and abetted by her wise cat Orion, and some unsettling psychic visions of her own. When a revealing clue leads to another dead body, not even a monster blizzard can stop Lee from inching closer to the truth. Okay. If you need a holiday book, and this lady will come up again because I've got another idea for Christmas. She will definitely come up. Her and is the other one in this pile? Yeah, she is too. Both of them are in this pile. Where you gone, ma'am? All right. So, Joanne Fluke, Christmas cake murder. When her dream of opening the cookie jar taking shape, Hannah's life matches the hectic December hustle and bustle in Lake Eden, especially when she agrees to help create a spectacular Christmas ball from the post in honor of Essie Granger, an elderly local in hospice care. But instead of poring over decadent dessert recipes for merry festivals, she instantly becomes enthralled in Essie's old notebooks and the tale of a woman escaping danger on the streets of New York. Hannah is surprised by Essie's secret talent for penning crime fiction. She's even more surprised when the story turns out to be true. Sounds good. Come here, let's bring these down. We don't need you kissing my books. So what do you think? How's it going over there, Missy? Alright. Miss Mallory. Why not tonight? Huh? Why not? Natalie Kalia will do anything for the artist at her gallery, including risk life, limb, and the effect of humidity on her naturally curly hair. Braving a downpour to check on reclusive Ronan Mitchell, Natalie gets stranded by a mudslide at his mountain home, where the brooding glass artist reveals his playful side, sending her inconvenient crush from an under-the-radar to over-the-top. After a secret tore apart his family and made him question his sense of self, Ronan fled his hometown for Happily Incorporated, but the sunny small town can't fix his damaged heart. He won't give in to his attraction for the beautiful, perpetually cheerful Natalie. She's untouched by darkness, or so he thinks. So, are they gonna get together? Is it gonna be a happy ending? What you think? What you think? A willing murder? When is there ever a willing participant? Sarah Midler is a household name in romance with millions of books sold, but lately retirement has been boring her, and she's found herself back in her hometown of Lackland, Florida, remodeling the grand old mansion she's admired as a child. It's much too big for her alone, but she died before letting anyone in town know them. Then Sarah's niece Kate is offered a job in Laughlin, a start in what could be a very successful career in real estate. She accepts it immediately, but with so little saved up, she'll have to approach her estranged yet incredibly famous aunt for a place to stay while she gets herself settled. But when she arrives at Sarah's home, she finds she's not the only long-term house guest. Jackson Wyatt already has his own room, and though it's impossible to deny his good looks and charm, he's clearly got her aunt wrapped around his finger. She's also never met anyone who irritates her quite like Jack does. However, when two skeletons are accidentally uncovered in the quiet town, this unlikely trio is suddenly thrust together by a common goal: to solve the murder. I never pictured Jude DeVeراux as writing a murder mystery. And a lover's triangle, although I'm pretty sure the elderly lady's not in it. And, oh, let's do this one. I gotta get it for me. Mr. Sanderson! Legend! Take this out. Over there. Stephen Leeds is perfectly sane. It's his hallucinations who are men. A genius's unriddled aptitude. Stephen can learn any new skill, vocation, or art in a matter of hours. However, to contain all of this, his mind creates hallucinatory people. Stephen calls them aspects to hold and manifest the information. Wherever he goes, he is joined by a team of imaginary experts to give advice, interpretation, and explanation. He uses them to solve problems for a price. His brain is getting a little crowded, and the aspects have a tendency of taking on lives of their own. When a company hires him to recover stolen property, a camera that can allegedly take pictures of the past, Stephen finds himself in an adventure crossing oceans and fighting terrors. When he discovers May upend the foundation of 3 major world religions, and perhaps give him a vital clue into the true nature of his aspect. Mr. Turtledove. Through darkest Europe. Senior investigative Khaled Aziz is a modern man, a product of unsurpassed educational system of North Africa and the Middle East. Liberal, tolerant, and above all rich, the countries and cultures of North Africa and the Middle East have dominated the globe for centuries, from the Far East to the young nations of the Sunset Lands. But one backwater area has festered for decades: Europe, whose despots and monarchs can barely contain the simmering anger of their people. From Ireland to Scandinavia, Italy to Spain, European fundamentalists have carried out assassins, hijackings, and bombings on their own soil and elsewhere. Extremist fundamentalist leaders have begun calling for a crusade, an obscure term from the mist of European history. Khalid has been sent to Rome to ground zero of backwater discontent. He and his partner Druid have been tasked with figuring out how to protect the Tin Pot Grand Duke, the impoverished Pope, and the overall status quo from Europe and stabilizing charts overflowing in the world. Then the bombs go off. What do you think? This is the second chance lady. This is the second chance lady. You want a romance about second chances? You go to Miss Shalvis. Hot Winter Nights. A Heartbreaker Bay novel. I don't want heartbreak. I want happiness. Who needs mistletoe? Most people wouldn't think of a bad Santa case on the perfect Christmas gift. Then again, Molly Malone, office manager in Huntington's investigation, isn't most people, and she could really use a distraction from the fantasy she's been having spending since spending the night with her very secret crush, Lucas Knight. Nothing happened, not that Lucas knows that, but Molly just wants to enjoy being a little naughty for once. Whiskey and pain meds for almost healed bullet wounds don't mix. Lucas needs to remember the next time he's shot on the job, which may be sooner than later if Molly's brother Joe finds out about them. Lucas can't believe he's drawing a blank on his supposedly passionate tryst with Molly, who's the hottest, smartest, strongest woman he's ever known. Did she make it up? Did she just say, oh, look, we did this? Or does he really not remember? And if he really not remember, there's something wrong with that. Why? Why are you giving me your back? Hmm? Why are you giving me your back? Hmm? You know, the best part about this is... Ha! That works. Anne Perry. Dark Tide Rising. I'm trying to collect all these. It's going to be hard. But there's 2 or 3 different series with her. Jacob Island is a broken down waterside slum, a place of perpetual gloom where Monk is just as likely to lose a man to the mud ties to the criminals who hide in the shadows. Kidnappers have chosen this warren of tunnels and alleys on the site of ransom exchange for Kate Exeter, the wife of a wealthy real estate developer, Harry Exeter. Harry asked the Thames River police to secretly accompany him to the spot and ensure that no harm comes to him or his captor's wife. But on arrival, Monk and 5 of his best men are attacked from all sides, and Monk is left wondering who could have given away their plans. As Monk follows leads from Kate's worried cousin and cranky clerk at the bank, where Exeter gathered the ransom money, it seems undeniable that one of his own men have betrayed him. Did you see? You are too much. She turned her back on me again. Miss Cleeves. Wildfire. Hoping for a fresh start, an English family moves to the remote Shetland Islands, eager to give their autistic son a better life. But when a young nanny body is found hanging in the barnside beside their home, rumors of her affair with her husband spread like wildfire. A suspicion and resentment of the family blazes into the community. Detective Inspector Jimmy Perez is called in to investigate. He knows it will mean his boss, Willow Reeves, returning to run the investigation and confronting their complex relationship. How the hit TV series Shetland. I will confess, I have never heard of the TV series Shetland. Andrew Gross. Button Man. Morris Soul and Harry Rabb grew up poor and rough on New York's Lower East Side until the death of their father forced them to support the family. Morris, the youngest but the most driven and pugnacious, apprentices himself at 12 to a garment manufacturer. Bookish Soul drops out of accounting school, but Harry, scarred by a family tragedy, is lured under the wing of a charismatic crime figure. Morris rises through the factory until at age 21 he convinces Soul to join him in their own business. But Harry can't give up the glamour and prestige that comes with being made a button man, a gunman for Louis Bulcher, now the most ruthless mobster in New York. And when Bulcher sets his sights on the unions that control the garment factories, a fatal showdown is inevitable. The Button Man. Again, if you need a 4th of July, go check out my Cozy Mystery 4th of July, Cozy Mystery Thanksgiving, Cozy Mystery Christmas, Cozy Mystery Valentine, Cozy Mystery Mother's Day. All Cozy Mysteries. This woman has got one. A catered cat wedding. Isis Crawford. Speaking of cats, See if she turns around again. Susie Katz is known as the crazy cat lady of Longleat, New York, and goes out of her way to earn the title, right down to her cat t-shirts and porcelain Hello Kitties. So when she decides to put up a tent on her property and hold an extravagant wedding ceremony for her 2 Russian blues, she makes sure to include a few two-legged guests, primarily to raise some hackles. All her favorite enemies will be there: her bird-loving neighbor, a rival cat breeder, a local animal rights activist, and the niece and nephew who stand to inherit their considerable fortune, if she doesn't spend it all on cat talkies first. Susie can't wait for them to watch Boris and Natasha slink up the aisle in their very expensive diamond-studded collars before everyone starts digging into the poached salmon and caviar provided by the occasion by Bernie and Libby. But chaos erupts when a wedding gift is unwrapped and a mischievous of mice jump out of the box, followed by the disappearance of all the pampered partygoers. Just a few hours later, Susie is stabbed in the back while searching for her missing kitties near the now empty tent, and it's up to Simon's sisters to sniff out the murder. What you think? What you think? Just a second here. Gotta stretch out a little. Sorry. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. Are you leaving me? Speaking of cats, Sophie Kelly, the cats came back. The charming Minnesota town of Mayville Heights is hosting a music festival, and the whole place is bustling with musicians, tourists. Kathleen is looking forward to taking in some fabulous performances, and her 2 cats, Owen and Hercules, are looking forward to taking in some fabulous sardine crackers. But then the trio stumbles across a dead body on the river. The victim is a close friend of well-known cabaret singer set to perform at the festival. The 2 happen to look incredibly alike. Who could have wanted to harm the dead woman? See what happens. Laura, another Christmas. There's a lot of Christmas this month. Laura Levine, Death of a Neighborhood Scrooge. Scotty Parker is a former child star who once played Tiny Tim, but now he's grown up into the role of Neighborhood Scrooge. He cuts the wires on his neighborhood Christmas lights and tells local kids that Santa had a stroke, and his miserly bah humbug attitude lasts year-round, a fact known all too well by his current wife, his ex-wife, his maid, and many more. Scotty thinks he can stage a comeback with the screenplay he's working on, The Return of Tiny Tim, Vengeance is Mine, and Jane's been reluctantly helping him edit it. So when Scotty is bludgeoned with a frozen chocolate Yule log and the police start making a list of suspects and checking it twice, Jane's name is unfortunately included. True, she's been under some stress while Lance trying to set her up on dates and her fickle felines taking a sudden liking to someone else, but she's not guilty of murder. Now she just has to prove it. Kai? Okay. Leslie Meeier, the Silver Anniversary Murder. As Tinker's Cove, Maine buzzes, let's see if I can do this, buzzes over town-wide silver wedding anniversary bash, Lucy Stone is inspired to contact Beth Gerard, her own maid of honor, but the only reunion will be at Beth's funeral. Beth supposedly jumped off a penthouse terrace, but the more Lucy learns about Beth's 4 ex-husbands, the more she suspects one of them murdered her. Okay, put this over there. And these are my author. In fact, if you have not watched the 2-hour-long video, I gotta put this. See that hole over there? See that hole right there? Right there. Look at that. I did it good. I did it good. Right there. This book goes there. It's going back. Dark Sentinel. If you haven't watched all my Christine FEEHAN stuff, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. What do you think? No? After the devastating loss of her entire family, Lorraine Peters heads to the woods, searching for peace of mind and anything to quell the anger in her soul. Instead, she stumbles upon a scene of horrific violence as one man lies helpless in the face of 3 attackers. Andor Katona's existence has been a harsh one, living for centuries as a monk in the Carpathian Mountains. Unable to find his life mate, he almost welcomes his release from a colorless and unfeeling world at the hands of the vampire hunters who have mistaken him for their prey. That is until a whirling ball of fury bursts into the scene, determined to save him. In one glimpse, in one breath, Andor recognizes Lorraine as his life mate, but it will take more than their telepathic connection to convince her of their immortal bond. See what happens. If you have not watched my originals, go watch my originals. Oh, and look, naked guy in the cover. When Raft Note pulls a barely dressed, disoriented woman from the ocean, the last thing he expects is for her to utter that word. The immortal has come to island to resort to help his cousin, but now it seems there is a rogue vampire dining on unsuspecting tourists, and he soon realizes that not only is Jess a target, she's also the life mate he's been waiting for. Another life mate! It's an Arginos! It's an Arginos! You gotta watch my Arginos. And I just ordered the new one. I got a gift certificate the other day for a special event. So I've just ordered the 2026 book. Something books. I forget what the title is. I just ordered that. I ordered 2. This and somebody else. 2 brand new ones. You know, $30 is a lot to pay on a book. But anyways, when a stack of library material is found at the scene of a hidden... Oh! Lynsay and Sully, he does the boating thing, and they have Beth is the children's author. If you haven't watched my book reviews on these, go watch my book reviews on these. It's a cute little town. She's forever getting in trouble. When a stack of library books material is found at the scene of a hit and run, library director Lynsay Norris finds herself dragged into the investigation as the police try to link the driver of the stolen car to the person who borrowed the CDs. Before Lynsay can delve into the library's records, the victim of the hit and run, Teresa Huston, suffers another accident, and the investigation shifts from driver negligence to attempted murder. A clue surfaces from the confiscated library CDs that could crack open the case, and it is up to Lynsay to piece it all together. But things are not as they seem in the sleepy town of Briar Creek, and when the driver of the stolen car turns up dead, Lynsay, her staff, and her friends have to hit the books before the killer gets the last word. So go check out my review for this book, because I know I did it. I did it! So anyways, our last book, and you will see this again in every September and every February, unless something changes. In the olden days, there was 2 hardcovers and 2 novellas. So there were 4 books a year. And then you would get 3 Norris. But now she's doing just 2 Eves. She's doing the 3 Norris, and she's doing a standalone. Which, by the way, I'm reading, so you may see in a little while. So anyways, if you haven't guessed, Eve Dallas is a lieutenant in the New York City Police and Security Department. And this book is coming up. We will do it in a couple of weeks. We are up to, we just did Promises in Death the other day. That's a couple of books down the road. But anyways, we will be doing this in our series. If you have not seen my review of this book, please go watch my review of the book. This year we are doing a review characterization spoilers. We're reading all the character give and take stuff. None of the plot spoilers. In the original videos, though, there are massive amounts of plot spoilers. beware of that. So anyway, Leverage and Death. And this is before she started. Oh, wait a minute. No, it isn't. Look. I remember doing the video for this. She does the fancy covers, too. But anyways, where was I? Put this back together. Always take the book cover off to read it, and then when you're finished, put the book cover back on. And I've seen people throw book covers away, and I'm like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. For the airline executives finalizing a long-rumored merger that would make news in the business world, the 9 a.m. meeting would be a major milestone. But after marketing VP Paul Rogan walked into the plush conferences room strapped with explosives, the headlines told the tale of death and destruction instead. It doesn't take long for Eve Dallas to confirm that Rogan, a dedicated employee and family man, was cruelly coerced into setting off the bomb. He was motivated only by a panicked, desperate need to save his wife and daughter from the two masked men holding them hostage, even if it meant committing suicide and mass murder. But what was the motive of the two masked men, who are now in the wind? The police investigate reveals months of intricate planning on the perpetrator's parts, but the targeting appears random and the timing seems pointless. Despite the chaos and bad publicity blowing up one meeting, it isn't going to put the brakes on the merger. All it has accomplished is shattering a lot of innocent lives. But with the help of her billionaire husband, Rourke, who knows finance and has friends in both high and low places, Eve must untangle the reasons for the inexplicably act of terror. And she does. And you will join me. Go look at my review. And then speed ahead to the... Well, you have to wait a couple months. First, we haven't gotten here yet. For character spoilerizations and Leverage and Death. And don't forget, come September, we'll have a new book. And come February, we'll have a new book. And she's turned her back on me again. And that is September 2018. Don't forget, Star Trek Voyager recaps on Fridays, or Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Fridays. And one of these days, I will redo those 2 episodes I need to redo for Next Generation. And Eve Dallas on Saturdays. And Unboxing on Sundays. And Flashback Mondays. Could use a little suggestions there. And my daily book reviews. Have a good one. Oh, wait a minute, I almost forgot. And every night at 7:45 on the D. Louise book series, we're talking Diana Gabaldon's Echo in the Bone, written in my own heart's blood. Go tell the bees that I am gone. And if I finish Bees and the new book comes out, we'll start the new book. If it has not come out by the time I finish Bees, we'll start with Outlander. Have a good one.